Hello, everybody. Welcome to a little live stream, my first ever live stream on YouTube. I think we're live now. Let me double check just to make sure. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. Jump in the chat and say hey. All right, I think we are live. Hey, if you're just joining us, welcome in. I would love to know where you guys are listening from. If you want to jump in the chat and just tell me where you're from, where are you listening at and watching at in the world. I love getting a feel for where everyone's at. If you're stateside, if you are abroad, for those of you who may be waking up early or staying up late, welcome. Yeah, feel free. I'd love to get a feel for where everyone's at. And let me make sure I've got the chat. Here we go. Okay, Edward's here. Yep. Edward says, yep, awesome. So you guys can hear me and see me all right. Good to see everybody. San Antonio. Edward, awesome. Awesome. Welcome from San Antonio. If you guys are just joining us, let me know where you are watching and joining us from. We've got Raymond here from the UK. Welcome, Raymond. Sophie's here. Sophie's from the Netherlands. Good to see you. Dinner time. Yeah, dinner time. So let's see. You know what's wild with the hour changes of the world is that I know the UK just fell back an hour a few days ago. We are falling back stateside next week. Australia already fell back. So, like, the hour changes have just been a bit of a nightmare with arranging calls here recently. And as some of you know, I have a web design club that's a global community, and figuring out the calls when everyone's time zones have switched is very difficult. But good to see everybody. Thanks for joining. Andy's here from the UK. Lori is here. Awesome. Welcome. We've got Wayne in the UK. So I'm guessing if the UK is in the name, I'm sure that's from the UK. So welcome, Wayne. Richard here from Ontario. Good to see you, Richard. Nicholas is here from Northwestern Illinois. Welcome, guys. Well, I tell you what we're going to do in this little live segment here in this live session is I'm going to answer your questions specifically about hosting and maintenance plans. This isn't a webinar or any formal training. I'm just going to chat casually with you and answer any questions you have. If you don't have a plan yet and you're considering starting one, or if you have a plan right now and you would like to take it to the next level, I'm here to help you for the next hour or so. Leo's here, by the way, from Edmonton. Welcome, Edmonton. I'm not going to say go Oilers, although I don't have anything against the Oilers, but you can probably see I got a hockey shirt on here. As a Columbus boy, I'm a Jackets fan. And we used to have the Chill, which was the AHL team. And man, I miss, or actually, I don't even think they were officially AHL. Minor league hockey is just a whole different ballgame for anyone who's a hockey fan. Well, welcome in, everybody. So I am here to take your questions, and we can do this just in the chat. So I'm used to using Zoom, where we have an official Q&A box. This is actually my first time using the native live feature of YouTube. So what I'd like you to do is, as we go through here, ask any question you have in the chat. And this could be how to get clients for hosting and maintenance. It could be how to run the plan, what tools to use, any questions you guys have. If you're interested in starting your plan, or again, if you have a maintenance plan that you're looking to take to the next level, I'm here for you. I want to answer some questions for you. And Leo also says, go Jackets. So Leo, well done. And I think most of you probably know and have seen that I do have a website maintenance plan course. I will be mentioning that throughout here, just because right now, version 2.0 of the course is live. For those of you who don't know much about the course or might be curious, I launched the first version of the course back in the fall of 2018. So it was actually the very first course I ever launched. And it helped hundreds of students all over the world over the past few years with building and launching plans of their own. What was really exciting from my perspective is I launched the first version of the course as a solopreneur, and based off of my experience with just starting to scale my team and my agency. Well, 3 years later, I not only scaled my agency and oversaw our maintenance plan to over 70 clients, just myself with a small team, but now that I have my CEO, Eric, who took over the business, our current maintenance plan as an agency is well over 100 clients. So I've seen it from a solopreneur perspective, an agency perspective, and I've seen a lot of what my students are doing all over the world with scaling and growing plans of their own, from small plans with just a few clients to dozens to well over 100. So really excited to be able to kind of put all of what I've learned over the past few years and then my experience in this course. And a lot of that I'm going to share with you in this live call here. Leo wanted to know, will there be a recording? So since this is being recorded on YouTube, Leo, I'm like 99% sure this will just pop up after the streaming is done. If not, I hope. Sorry about that. I'm not recording it separately, so I'm kind of getting used to YouTube's live feature. So this is a bit of a testing case study for me as well. So I'm hoping that it'll pop up. Sophie says, "Yep, it'll pop up." Awesome. I figured since it's through YouTube, I'm not using a streaming software. I figured that it would just show up as the video. So yeah, if you guys have to bail early, no problem. No problem at all. We'll have this recording for you. So I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna open up the floor. Is that the right expression? I'm gonna open the floor up. Whatever. I'm gonna take your questions. What questions do you guys have about maintenance plans? Again, this is pretty open-ended. This is not a training or an official webinar or anything. You've got me for an hour to pick my brain and ask me any questions you have about maintenance plans. So I'm going to look at the chat now. Don't be ashamed if you feel like you have a stupid question. There's no such thing as a stupid question. It could be as simple as it can be, or it can be as complex as you'd like it to be. I'm here for you. So, what questions do you guys have about maintenance, hosting, and anything involved with any of that? Because I'm here to help you. Leo says Josh's maintenance plan course, and especially his new one, is excellent. Awesome, Leo. I was wondering if you had been through it already. Definitely looking forward to hearing what you think about version 2.0. And actually, while I'm waiting for some questions to come in, because I think there's a little bit of a delay with the chat, I will say somebody asked recently who had already been through the first version of the course, which, by the way, no big harsh sale on this or anything right now. But if you guys do want to check out the course, just as a reference point for right now, I just posted the link in the chat. But somebody had asked me previously, what's the difference between version 2.0 and the first version of the course? And to that, I say a lot. Because like I just mentioned, I have been fortunate to oversee my maintenance plan and scaling as a solopreneur, and then on the agency level, and now a lot of students. I've essentially revamped the entire course. It's doubled in size. All of the old lessons have been revised. There's actually only a couple lessons that I kept from the previous version of the course, and those are like case studies. And a couple other minor lessons. So it's basically an entire new course. And I'm really, really excited to help you guys with building recurring income with your own hosting and maintenance plan. All right. All right. So Bartlett Idea Co. would like to know, how do you pitch a maintenance plan to a client? So there's kind of two clients here. There is a brand new client who you don't know yet and who may not be an actual client of yours yet. So it's more of a lead. And then there are current clients. It's definitely two different strategies. I'll give you some tips on how to sell to new clients, which for those of you who listen to my podcast, I just posted in the chat. I just really recently took a lesson from the course and dished it out in episode 147 on the podcast, which are some ways to sell to new clients. So I'll give you some tips on both of those real quick for the question that Bartlett Idea Co. had. Essentially, for new clients, the trick with hosting and maintenance plans is it's a subscription service. So you have to be careful about launching immediately into that. You don't necessarily want to start a relationship with a lead because they're not a client yet and say, by the way, I have hosting and maintenance, and you don't want to talk about a subscription type service generally right out of the gate. Now, the reason for that is pretty clear. You don't want to make somebody feel like they're locked in with you month to month or annually right away. You really need to build the relationship and build that know, like, and trust first before talking about the subscription service. However, you don't want to spring it up on them at the end of a project, or like I did quite a few times mistakenly in the early days, was I waited till a project went live and then I said, oh, by the way, this was before I was offering hosting. I would say, by the way, I do maintenance. And if you don't have a maintenance plan, you're going to get hacked eventually. So you don't want to do that, but you also don't want to have a harsh sell on it right away, unless a client asks you about it, or should I say a lead asks you about it. Then you can say, yeah, we do hosting and maintenance, and we can talk about that more moving forward. The trick here, Bartlett, I'm just going to call you Bartlett. I know it's Bartlett Idea Co., is to sprinkle it in. I found it best to sprinkle it in throughout the process, from initially when you're talking with them on the discovery call, as you talk to a potential client about revamping their site or starting a new brand and site for them. Just at the end of the call, say, and then once we get the site live, we offer hosting and maintenance. And we don't need to dive into that in a whole lot of detail now, but that is something we offer. That way we're in your corner every month. You need to frame it like you are their trusted web person, their web guy or their web gal. I promise you, if you frame it like that, you will see such a better conversion rate on your plan, and you won't feel like you're trying to nickel and dime your clients, and they won't feel like you're trying to lock them into something that they may not be ready for yet. So just frame it like you are in their corner. You can do that at the end of the discovery call when you're onboarding a client. When the project gets started, that's a key point to say that, okay, here are the steps to getting started. And by the way, we offer our hosting and maintenance plan at the end. A lot of clients will tell you, okay, that sounds great. Let's plan on doing that once the site goes live. It doesn't mean that you need to actually charge for the plan right away. You can. Some people actually have that as an add-on in their proposal. But I recommend getting the hosting and maintenance started once a new website is live for new clients. Now, to sell to current clients, it's a different strategy. And by the way, if I could put a cap on that thought with selling to new clients, the other places you can sprinkle it in, which I just shared in that podcast episode 147, is throughout the process and then more towards the end. When you get to the end of a project, you want to hard sell that bad boy. That's when you want to say, okay, before we go live, we have hosting and maintenance. If you don't, move forward with our hosting and maintenance plan, these are basically the things that you have to do and you have to take full responsibility for. I call that a liability clause. And actually, in version 2.0 of the course, we have a whole liability clause that you can take and just send to your clients and basically have them approve that and accept responsibility for that. With current clients, I'm sure a lot of you are curious about what if you already have hosting for current client, or what if you already have a current client that isn't hosting or doing maintenance with you? It's a prime time for an upsell. When I started my plan, I don't know how many of you know this, but I was 6 years into my journey. 6. That is ridiculous. I am so mad at myself for not starting my maintenance plan sooner. Although I got started in 2010, subscription services were a little different back then, so I can't be too hard on myself. But if that's you, if you have a bunch of clients and you don't yet have a plan, don't worry. It's not like the ship has sailed. The cool thing is you can start your plan and get a lot of clients on there. I started my plan with over 20 clients, and it was like $1,500 a month within a week or two. And it changed the game for me. And I'm not saying that boastfully. I'm saying I waited 6 years to start my plan. And when I did, I was like, oh, wow, this is incredible. I saw the power of that. So it can be a really, really great tool if you already have a bunch of clients and you can sell your plan too. So don't worry about that. So, and I've got some tips for you there. We'll probably cover throughout this call, but let me move on to some other questions here real quick. So hopefully that helps, Bartlett, by the way, let me know. Wayne in the UK wanted to know, how do you come up with pricing for maintenance plans, or what do you include as a part of it? I have not seen the course yet, so Josh, apologies if this is covered. So Wayne, that is covered in detail. There's kind of two aspects of that question. I actually have 2 lessons in the course for that. One lesson is what to include, and then the other lesson is how to price it. I'll give you some quick tips on each. So what to include, there really is a few key factors that all maintenance plans should include. And there's kind of different levels to it. At the core, definitely updates. You need to make sure that theme, WordPress, plugins, and all the tools are updated. If you guys don't know too much about updates and security, updates, especially for plugins and themes, are the number one reason that sites get hacked, is if they are not updated. So when a client passes on a plan and the website just sits there for months and months and eventually years, it's very likely they're going to get hacked, particularly if they're on bad hosting. So updates is a key part of all plans. So that's one thing that's included. Optimization is also another biggie. One thing that a lot of clients don't realize, and if you're new to web design, you might not quite know this yet, but as a site continues to grow and as you add pages, the database of a WordPress website basically gets clogged up and junked up. It's kind of like a car. I often like to explain to clients about website maintenance plans like a car, because as you run a car, eventually it's going to need an oil change. It's going to need updated. It's going to need maintain, which is one reason I love the term of maintenance plan. And it's kind of like that. Your website is going to gunk up. There's things called post revisions. And that means that when you're adding new pages, your database is basically going to get clogged up. Those things need to be optimized, which you can do through tools like Manage WP, WPMU Dev, which is another great tool, a bunch of other ones. So optimization is a big one. And then also optimizing the content, images, and things in your page, which you can do through a lot of these tools. So updates, optimization, security. Security is the other big one. Now, when I mention security, there's vast different levels of this. And the basic side of security, as long as you have good hosting and you have some basic monitoring and you have best practices in place, like good passwords, Updating plugins is security. That is basically a byproduct of security, because if you leave a plugin set and never update it, it's going to get hacked eventually, or it's likely there's going to be some sort of breach. So security is another big one. For more advanced security, for e-commerce sites and for bigger sites that you might want to have really advanced security on, that's where you can partner with Security or WordFence. You can use tools like that. I mentioned WPMU Dev. That's another good tool where they have They have the Defender plugin where you can actually create like a firewall around the site, which basically prevents bad traffic. The cool thing is, on a basic level with security, with tools like Managed WP and most hosting companies, you can do basic monitoring, and monitoring is what I like to factor in as a part of security as well. So those are the three main parts. The last kind of bonus for what to include in a plan is reporting, which is one reason I love Managed WP. They have awesome reporting, which is a big key to retaining your clients month to month, because you can offer a monthly report, and you can do that. You can automate it with Managed WP or easily send those out with templates, and they connect with your Google Analytics, and you can get traffic. And it basically sends a report every month that shows what you did on the site, which you can automate a lot of that with Managed WP and a lot of great tools now. And I do in the course give you a snapshot of all the available tools you can use, because I use Managed WP. My agency uses Managed WP, but I have some students who swear and are like vehemently pro WPMU Dev. There's some other ones out there too, but those seem to be the two best right now in the market for managing sites. So those are kind of what to include. Now, how to price it. I'm sure we'll have some questions if we don't already about pricing. Pricing is all about what you include in your plan and the complexity of each one of those categories that we just went over. What I like to do and what I've seen work best for not only myself, my agency, and a lot of my students is to have 3 tiers. And here's the biggie. Okay, this is going to be worth tuning in for this. This is worth the price of free admission for this call. 3 tiers is basically code for this: good, better, best. Your good tier is going to be the basics of a plan. And one big thing that we didn't talk about yet that you're going to want to include in all of your plans, or at least the top 2 tiers of your plans, and don't worry when I say this because it will make more sense, but that is an hour of your time month to month available for clients. That was the biggest seller for me, was having an hour of my up to an hour of my time or more, depending on the tier that you're going to charge for, of time available that we could do updates, and we wouldn't need to charge them hourly, and they wouldn't need to worry about, getting a quote or something if it's just a quick update. That would cover things like quick content changes. Maybe somebody wanted to add a new staff member in a site. Like, what a pain. And I found this when I didn't have a maintenance plan. What a pain to have a client say, "Hey, we just have we had somebody quit. We have a new staff member, and our hours changed." What a pain for them to say, "How much time would you bill us for to do this?" With your maintenance plan, that is the perfect example and scenario for them to just send that over, and you say, "As long as it's up less than an hour of work, we got you covered. Don't worry about it." That is incredible. That was the key sales factor in my plans. Now, a lot of people are really worried about offering monthly time for clients, and I want to encourage you not to worry about that. Why? Quite simply because a very small percentage of your clients are going to use that time. And I delayed starting a maintenance plan and adding an hour for a couple years because of that very point. I was terrified of having 50 clients hit me up every month and having 50 extra hours of work. But the reality is it never happened. And I've been coaching hundreds of students who have been through the course, and every one of them will say the same thing. And maybe if you're in the chat right now and you've experienced that, and you've experienced the fact that, yes, I don't have that many clients dinging me and pinging me, let us know in the comments, because it's true. Don't worry about that. But I say all that to say, when it comes to charging and pricing your tiers out, good, better, best. Good will be the basic level of everything we talked about with updates, optimization, security, backups, and reporting. We didn't even talk about backups yet. That's another biggie. And then if you have the hour available to them, that's up to you on the basic plan. Or that could be something that's just reserved for your standard and elite plans, or whatever you want to call them, which I do have a whole lesson in the course about what to call your plans too. So good, better, best. Now, where you want to price those is totally up to you. It depends on your hourly rate. It depends on what you're offering in each one of those plans. It also depends on, like, if you're going to offer an elite plan, which is your top tier, and you're going to partner with security, which is going to be 10 to 20 bucks a month for that site, if you're doing like an advanced firewall, but don't let that scare you. Generally rare that you're going to have to do that. But if you got to factor in the cost of the tools, which luckily are pretty low. Maintenance plan tools are very, very low. They're very affordable. So that's great. But that's going to factor in there. And then again, if your hourly rate is 35 bucks an hour, that's way different than if your hourly rate is 125 bucks an hour. So I do talk about pricing in depth in the course. What I will say is the most common price points are generally like around 50 bucks, 49 ideally for the good plan, the basic plan. Usually it's going to be anywhere between 75 and 99 for the kind of standard type plan. And then top tier plans go for anywhere on average from 100 bucks a month to 200 to 300 bucks a month. Once you get over 200 bucks a month, that's where you usually need to add some serious value in the way of content, advanced optimizations, more strategy or reporting. So most plans are generally, and what I mentioned in the course and what I'll show you are 3 tiers at 49, 99, and 199. Those are the best average cost of tiers, but pricing is all over. It can work all over for you, depending on your clients and what you offer. So hopefully that helps you, Wayne. And then I think I answered your question, Wayne. Do you include quick changes to existing pages? Yes, that would be factored in what you cover. And I do help you figure out what to cover in that hour of monthly time. Because what you don't want to have happen is your clients try to redesign a site 1 hour at a time. And I'll help you in the course with combating that. Kayla, welcome in, Kayla. Kayla would like to know, for a newbie, how do you start including hosting? What if a client wants a large e-commerce site, which could be quite large space-wise? So that would depend on where you host, Kayla. I definitely recommend hosting. So here's another big point with maintenance plan, guys. Remember this. Clients will always cancel and re-sign up for and go back and forth with marketing services like SEO, copywriting, even design, conversion-based design, social media. What they will not turn off is their website. And they will not stop their hosting unless they are moving hosts or they went out of business. Now, what you want to do is link in hosting and maintenance together. You want clients to feel like this service of hosting and maintenance are one. I went back and forth. I started just doing maintenance and I stopped doing hosting. And it was one of the biggest regrets I ever had because I was sick of being the middleman for my clients' hosting needs. But you can probably guess what happened when I stopped hosting. I still got the calls. So even though I wasn't being paid for helping hosting my clients, I was still getting calls because they were like, who is my website hosted through? I don't remember. And then I would have to track it down. And then I would be like, listen, I'm spending like an hour on this. I need to charge for this. And it was awkward. It's always better to do hosting and maintenance together because clients may be curious about whether they really need maintenance if you're not selling it well to them. So if that's the case, you need to link them together. And if you really showcase hosting and maintenance together, that's like one product. That is security. That is stability. That is consistent recurring income that you can build and build and build. And I'll tell you this, when we all know what happened in 2020, I had one client cancel maintenance. Luckily, it was only one because I did a good job at them understanding the value. But guess what that client did not have with me? Hosting. So if I had them on hosting and maintenance together as one package, he wouldn't have canceled because he wouldn't have turned off his website. So anyway, that was kind of a bad answer. It was kind of a roundabout answer to hosting. It all depends on your hosting setup though, Kayla. But either way, I would definitely include both. That also can go into your tiers of plans. So your basic tier can include hosting with like a certain amount of space. A large e-commerce site, they have to go with your top tier. That's one of those things where if you offer 3 tiers, good, better, best, and an e-commerce site is interested in hosting and maintaining with you, they have to go with the top tier. And you can just let them know, because this is a massive site with a lot of resources, you only qualify to be in our top tier starting at $199. And that's the key, starting at. Because if they want to eventually add more hours or they're going to be a really high touch client, they might need to have a little more of a custom tier. Those custom tiers are going to be a little less frequent, but either way, those 3 tiers should help with that. Is it Joannette? She says, hi from the Netherlands. No questions yet. No problem, Joannette. When you do, just drop them in the chat. If you guys have joined us just recently, welcome. Here to spend at least another half an hour with you to answer questions about hosting and maintenance to help you with your plans. I mentioned it earlier on, but the version 2.0 of my maintenance plan course is available just through tomorrow, the end of tomorrow night at midnight Eastern time with the launch sale. So everything I'm going to give you here, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I wanted to give you guys some free advice and just chat with you to help you either get your plan started or take your current plan to the next level. And then Sophie wanted to know. Sophie's speaking in a language I can't understand, so I'm going to bypass that one. Jamia wanted to know, or is it Hemi? I know you said that before. Anyway, I'll get back to the question. Do you build websites on their own hosting, or do you build it on yours, then migrate? If it's theirs, would you have to sell your maintenance and hosting plan first? Great question. So what I would do either way, it depends on the situation of the client and their hosting. If they already have a hosting, like if they already have their website and it's hosted elsewhere, I would 100%, build the site on your hosting. And you can do this through a variety of tools. Most all hosts will give you the ability to create a subdomain or a staging domain. What I would do though is, as we talked about earlier on, where to sprinkle in selling your maintenance plan, is just let them know at the end of the project, we have our hosting and maintenance plan, and we recommend you host with us. And then what we'll do is, once the site is ready, then we'll take you on our hosting and you can assist with the transfer. Now, the question you might have is, what if that client already has hosting with like GoDaddy or Bluehost or something, and they have like a year on their plan? Here is an invaluable piece of information I wish somebody would have told me. Okay, are you ready? And that information, that value, gold nugget is buy them out. I know that sounds weird, and you might be like, do I have to spend $100 and buy this client out to get on my hosting? Abso-freaking-lutely. And I'll tell you why. Because it is so worthwhile getting clients on your hosting and on your maintenance. I had this happen all the time, where I would have clients who had terrible hosting at like GoDaddy or something, but they didn't want to join my hosting because they already had a plan that was already paid for like a year or two. With GoDaddy plans and most hosting, honestly, it was like $100 or $70 or something. I wish, and I'm kicking myself for not saying, I'll buy you out. I'll take that off the first couple months of hosting and maintenance. We'll take that off. Don't worry about it, because you don't want to maintain a site on bad hosting. That's the other big aspect to that. First of all, it's terrible to build a nice, beautiful site and then have this client host it on their terrible hosting, and it performs badly. You have trouble updating it. It takes forever to build on it. So you want to avoid that. And if they are worried about already having a hosting plan, just offer to host it for them. And again, buy them out. Whatever their contract is with Bluehost or crappy hosting, offer to buy them out. I guarantee that'll work wonders for you, and it'll be so worth the cost. I promise it. So you want, at all costs, you want to get them on your hosting and maintenance. And honestly, you'll recoup the cost really quick. Like if they have a year at GoDaddy and it's $70, well, if you land them on a $99 a month plan, you've already almost paid that back, and you've got yourself a client for life, or at least a client for a very long time. Now, if they absolutely will not leave their host for some reason, and I had this happen sometimes, where I had like one client of mine was a surgical, like an eye surgical place. They had a specific hosting company for their website, and they could not deviate from it. It was like, I think there were some legalities to it. They had to use this company for a certain amount of time. What we did was, I still maintained the site, and I just took the hosting charge off. But I did say, your host has to abide by these specs. It has to be able to run this PHP version. It's got to be able to run the site. Luckily, all checked out. That IT team was great to work with, and it ended up being fine. So that's a possible option for you as well. So hopefully that helps, Jamia. Let's see. What else do we got here, guys? If you guys have any questions, feel free to jump in the chat and post them. Lori, what's up, Lori? Lori would like to know, I only use Divi. I would like to offer an hour of monthly time when I start my maintenance plan. Awesome. Is it advisable to only offer plans to Divi sites? Do you offer plans to non-Divi sites as well? So good question. This goes really back to like what you're going to offer in your plan and what you feel comfortable taking on. I do have a lesson in the course, by the way, about how to take sites on if you didn't build them, because that's a whole nother ballgame. And first of all, I'll give you a quick tip. You got to charge for that. If you're going to look into a site that is not built by you, you're going to have to really investigate it well. You can figure out the theme and stuff pretty quick, but in the course, I've got a lot of tips on how to do that to make sure you kind of cover your butt and make sure you don't get yourself into trouble with taking on a site you didn't build. But what I would say, as far as what you feel comfortable with, is I would say in your case, Lori, if you only use Divi, quite honestly, I would only take on sites that use Divi. That said, I also only use Divi. However, I had at one point, let's see. Well, I had some clients using different themes, but it's because I had built their sites years ago on different themes, so I had to keep up with those. But if it's like Elementor or something that you feel like, okay, I don't know it well, but I can at least maintain the plugins. I would feel comfortable with coaching you and saying you could take that on. However, make it very clear to the client that you don't use the theme that the site is built through. So if it comes down to theme changes, I might not be able to help, or we'll need to hire somebody else to help. But for maintenance, security, and stuff like that, you might be able to help. That's the only way I would advise to do that. I would try to stick with Divi, or if there are themes or other tools, only if you feel comfortable. And there's no problem with saying, listen, I would love to maintain the site for you, but I don't know the tools. You're using a tool set that is very different from what I feel comfortable with and know. And I'm not going to be able to do this site. However, that's the opportunity for an upsell that can actually lead to a new website redesign for you. So don't be afraid to say, I would love to design this site or love to maintain the site, but I use a different tool and I would love to redesign the site and the new tool for you if you're ready for a redesign. And I can, take a lot off the initial build charge or whatever for hosting and maintenance. That's a great upsell for you as well. So hopefully that helps, Lori. Kayla says, brilliant answer. Awesome. Great to hear that help for you, Kayla. And by the way, if you just joined us, I'm going to be mentioning my maintenance plan course. The second version of the course is out now. I'm pulling a lot of this information in this chat with you guys from that. So at the end here, I'll give you special info on that. But Himia said, or said it correctly. Got it. Awesome. Let's see. Ooh, that's a name that looks like mine, but it's slightly different. I am from Ohio. I'm not super educated on different names, but is it Josui? Jesus? Something like that. Anyway, forgive me if I completely butcher names that are foreign to the US. How can I create a maintenance plan? Should it be based on features or hours of work? So I'm not sure if you caught earlier, I did talk about some basic things you can include in your plan and how to price them, but it's both. It's definitely essentially a maintenance plan is going to be priced and created from updates, optimization, backups, security, and reporting. And then you can price those depending on really profitability and to make sure that you're making money on your plan. If you're going to be investing in some tools, but luckily maintenance plan tools are fairly cheap. The hours of work is the biggie. If you're going to include an hour, the pricing of your tier is going to be drastically different if you are at 25 bucks an hour versus if you're at 95 bucks an hour. So I did talk about that a little earlier on. If you caught this a little later, you can watch the replay where we dive into that in a little more detail. Great question though. Kayla would also like to know, do you make maintenance plan clients sign a contract or can they cancel anytime? Kayla, both. You definitely want them to have some sign of or some sort of contract signed. Mainly, and it's honest, the contract for maintenance plans is basically just a disclaimer or a disclosure. It's saying, this is what I'm doing month to month or year to year if they signed up annually. This is what I expect from the clients. Now, if they want to cancel, they should absolutely be able to cancel. When they cancel is going to be depend on whether they signed up for a month or for a year. And another little pricing note, I highly recommend having both options available because there's nothing better than when you get a client signing up for a year, not only because of the paycheck, but because you've locked them in for a year. That is invaluable for cash flow and for stable income. So have both, and the contract's just going to reflect either. So month to month, absolutely say you can cancel at any time. This contract is just a disclosure or a disclaimer. Whether you have them actually sign it or what like a digital e-signature kind of thing, or whether it's just something that by signing up for the plan, they acknowledge that they see your contract. You can do either way. If you feel like you don't want to make a client actually literally sign up, then definitely just have it as a disclosure that way and just say, by signing up for the plan, you agree to our terms. It's almost like a terms and conditions. Either way, you'll be covered with that. But I definitely recommend doing that. And just remember this, just because somebody signs a contract, it doesn't mean that they can't cancel. And here's a biggie too. let your clients know they will have full ownership of their site. If they decide to cancel for whatever reason, if they're unfortunately, if they're not happy with you as a webmaster, or in some cases, I just had this happen with one of my students. She had an amazing client, and unfortunately, if I remember right, I think it was like $200 a month or 250 a month. Her contact left the agency that she was working with. And this company got a new contact and they're pulling everything in house. So even because my student who did an awesome job, there was no fault of her own, but it was a new contact. They wanted to pull everything in house and they left. They had the option to do that. And just let them know they always have the option to leave or come back. And that's the other biggie. Keep the door open. Don't ever feel like you don't make clients feel stupid for leaving or trying to do it on their own. That can also be some of the best upsells. I do in the course later on, I have some case studies and I will actually show you my email threads with real clients where they did not take my plan or they left the plan. And then guess what happened? They got hacked. And then I show you exactly how I sold them on the plan and brought them in and fixed their hack site. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about that if they need to cancel. And just I think as a web designer, you should let your clients know either way. Once a project is done or if you need to leave, you will always have your site. You have full access to your site, and I'll always be here for you. The door is always open. Leave that door open because even if they leave you, they might come back. So that's a biggie. Let's see. Justin, are there any good UK web hosts? I came across Unlimited Web Hosting. Got to be better than GoDaddy. There's a ton of different hosts. I do have a recent post that I did on my top recommended hosts to simply save us time here to keep this on maintenance plans. I'm going to drop the link below here for you. So it's in the chat now. These are my top recommendation on WordPress hosts. There's all sorts of hosts, and there's a lot of great ones I didn't even mention in there. I like SiteGround. SiteGround has a lot of, I think they have a UK server and a lot of good options for UK stuff. So, but there's a lot of great hosts out there right now. So check that out if interested. Let's see here. Lori said, thanks so much. I was leaning towards only offering to my own sites, and that confirms the decision. Awesome. Great to hear that helps you out, Lori. Justin said, do you have contracts and would they be good for here in the UK or only good for the US? Both, Justin. Yep. In the course, I have a whole lesson on the contract itself, along with a separate lesson on the liability clause, which is what you want to send to clients if they deny your plan or move forward. And that's basically as simple as making them assume responsibility for everything. And here's the trick. If you make them assume responsibility for updates, backups, security, optimization, reporting, everything that you're doing in your plan, a lot of them will see that and be like, oh, actually, yeah, I think I will sign up for your plan. Let's go for it, because they realize they don't want to take care of that. So yeah, it'll work for both, Justin. The contract itself is worldwide, and I've had students from all over the world use it and use it in their plans. It's very generalized. So the only difference that you might do in the UK is if you guys who are in the EU are doing anything advanced from the standpoint of like anything GDPR, which is for those who may not know, GDPR is like compliance and privacy and security. You could always add that in. My contract is basically the foundation for you, and then you can customize it where need be. So that would be the only thing I think that would be different from US versus UK is the compliance stuff and the privacy stuff. But even with the version of the contract now, it still addresses security and privacy and says that we will keep your information secure. We will not sell your email address. We will not send it out to marketing firms, and we will keep the site secured to the best of our abilities. That's basically the basics of that. So hopefully that helps. Let's see here. Oh, and he said it does equal Joshua. Perfect. Well, I appreciate that, Josh. That definitely helps. That helps me out. Awesome. Let's see. So Justin asked that. I'm just looking through the chat here, guys. By the way, if you just joined us, feel free. You got me for another good 20 minutes or so here. I'm open to answer any questions you have about hosting or maintenance. I want to help you guys either start your plans or level up your current plan. And by the way, if you guys didn't know who are just joining us, I'll put this in the chat now. A lot of what we're talking about, actually everything that we're talking about, is taken from version 2.0 of my maintenance plan course. I've been really fortunate to help hundreds of students all over the world start and grow their maintenance plans. The course is on sale right now for launch sale until tomorrow at midnight Eastern. So if you guys are interested and ready to start and level up your plan and build some recurring income, make sure to take advantage of that sale. If you guys have any questions during that time, just ping me. You can actually just go to my site, joshhall.co/contact, and let me know. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any additional questions outside of what we do right here. So Karen would like to know, I missed the beginning of the talk. Sorry. No worries, Karen. No worries. I know everyone's busy. If you're jumping in and out, no problem. How do you feel about blocks of maintenance time versus monthly plans? I seem to be able to sell blocks way more easily. Okay. There's two things here, Karen. Blocks and retainer hours are very different than a monthly maintenance plan. Now, you missed it earlier. So what I was talking about earlier on was definitely to include some monthly time in your plans, but that is different than a block of time for just random stuff, because what you're getting into, hosting and maintenance needs to be done weekly. If you try to sell, and it sounds like you maybe have, if you sell maintenance time in blocks that are random, that is not how the WordPress ecosystem works as far as updates and plugins and backups. Those things need to be done weekly or monthly at the least. So that's why monthly maintenance plans and hosting are recurring month to month. Now, when it comes to support time, blocks of hours, absolutely. You can offer those one off separately. Let me give you guys another bit of gold advice. I kind of wish I would have shared this earlier on, but a big perk of hosting and maintenance plans is give your clients a discounted hourly rate. You always want to give your best deals to your current customers. So the motto I like to abide by is don't be a cable company, meaning don't give your best deals to brand new clients and then screw over your current clients and jack up the rates. You want to give them the best deal. So monthly maintenance plan clients, they're your tribe. They are your A and B clients. They're your best clients. They're paying you month to month. Give them a great deal and a discount on hourly rate stuff. So in this case, Karen, when it comes to like a bulk of hours of work, absolutely have your monthly maintenance plan at a certain price range, but then offer them retainer of hours of work if you'd like. And since they're your current client, apply what I just said and give them a discounted hourly rate. Let them know, since you're on a monthly plan, you guys are a preferred client. Normally, our hourly rate is say 125. For you guys, it's 95 or 85, like a really good discount, 20, 30% off, something around that range. Give them a really good discount. Now will really help, because there is a big difference between blocks of time that are more scattered versus ongoing service. And quite frankly, the block of time and retainer of time, it's not recurring income. That's sporadic income. You want to get away from that. The big goal, and the reason I'm doing this for everyone here, is to really encourage you, if you haven't already, start building recurring income, monthly hosting maintenance. That's the best way to go about it. It really is the foundation, because hourly work, bulk of retainer hours, any other services like SEO, copywriting, anything like that, those are additions. Those are on the outside of your core, which should be hosting and maintenance. And that's actually another good point too. If you are curious about what should be included, do not include SEO, copywriting, and social media services, marketing, anything like that, that is something that should be separate. Hosting and maintenance should be its own thing. If you do have other recurring services, like I definitely recommend having ongoing SEO services, but that's separate, because the needs are always going to change. You don't want people canceling SEO and then subsequently canceling your hosting and maintenance. You see what I mean there? Like, that's the danger of lumping all of your services together. There needs to be such a clear differentiation between hosting, monthly maintenance, and then like one-off retainer services. This is also one reason why I think there's a big difference between the three types of income that you'll likely have as a web designer: fixed or subscription style web design services, hosting and maintenance with recurring income, which is what we're talking about now, and ongoing work, ongoing retainer of hours or fixed little projects. Those are really the three buckets of main types of income that you're going to have as a web designer. Although some people are mixing the first two, which are like builds as a subscription service with hosting and maintenance. So like I have, shout out to Steve, one of my students who has a subscription business model with web design. He locks them in for 18 months, and it includes the website build under certain parameters and hosting and maintenance for 18 months. So that's a little less common. I prefer the fixed rate for a web design website design, either new or revamped, and then hosting and maintenance. So hopefully that helps, guys. Great questions, man. Great questions. Let's see. Raymond, one of the Raymond's replying to Justin about some hosting. Awesome. Bartlett would like to know, how do you approach bringing on team members to help with maintenance sites? Great question. So I do have a whole lesson on scaling your plan and bringing in team members. The trick is, this goes with any sort of scaling. If you're going to hire out anything, it starts with creating some sort of SOP, a standard operating procedure. This is why I think it's really good and important for you to know the tools you're using and actually do it yourself, at least for a couple months. So you get a feel for when to do updates, how to do updates, what's involved with reporting, get all your templates in place, and then you can bring on people to take those lower end tasks. The beauty about a website maintenance plan, and it's the easiest thing to scale. It's also the easiest thing to hire out. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but my wife, when I was a solopreneur, she came in when we got married and she started doing all the reporting for my maintenance plan. So I actually did not do the reporting after a little while. And then also, one thing I had her do was basic updates. And if you guys are curious about how and when to do updates, obviously I talk about that in depth in the course, but one quick little nugget I'll give you is there's really there's a few different versions of an update when it comes to a plugin or a theme. There's major, which would be going from like version 2.0 to 3.0. There's kind of minor, which would be like the latter two numbers. It'd be like 3.0.9. There's really kind of those, well, there's those two, but you could kind of put the number in there, as the middle number in there as well, as far as it being a major update, a moderate update, or a minor update. That's kind of the way I like to explain it. So that all will help when you start to scale, because you can bring on a team member. They can watch all your videos on the SOP or read through it. They'll know when to update sites, how to update them. The trick here, I would say, for everyone watching, is if you're going to hire anything out, remember this: all tasks are not equal. It doesn't mean that the low level tasks like doing updates or sending reports aren't valuable. They're extremely valuable. But at the end of the day, those are not the high end tasks that you as a business owner should be focusing on. And I've really realized that over the years. I need to focus on only the things that I can do in my business. And I've been really quick to start to hire out the rest. And when your maintenance plan, once you scale it, luckily a maintenance plan can be really manageable up until about a couple dozen clients. Like I managed it myself, doing everything up until 30 some clients. And that's when I had my wife come on board to save me some time every month for reporting. But even that only took an hour and a half. But the updates, and then if there's any occasional like work that needs to be done, or if there's any bugs or issues or any sort of, the very rare case that an update would break something, I would generally start to get some help out with that. But either way, just remember, there's high level tasks that only you can do in your business, like vision casting, like working on the business, like a lot of sales and marketing. And there's low level tasks that are repeatable, that generally anyone could pick up with a little bit of training. So hopefully that helps, Bartlett. That's what I would definitely recommend doing. And you can either scale in-house, and I do talk about this in the course. You can scale it with people you bring on, or you can partner with other agencies out there, or white label web designers. So I actually have a network of white label designers who do maintenance services, or there's like Focus WP is a good example of a company that will handle all the maintenance for you, and you just focus on building and sales. But I doubt too many of you want to go that route since you're here wanting to build your own maintenance plan. So Karen would like to know, in your course, do you discuss how to sell that to current clients who have survived you or have survived the years without it? Yes, Karen. So I did mention this earlier on. I know you said you jumped in late. I have a whole lesson on how to sell to current clients, which is a vastly different strategy than new clients. The beauty is, with current clients, even if they've survived without a hack, it's guaranteed that their sites and their plugins are vulnerable. They're not updated, not optimized. It's kind of like running a car a few years and never getting an oil change and never changing the tires, never filling the air up, never changing the air filter. All those things that happen to a car, yeah, it might work. It might last 3 or 4 or 5 years, but it's going to be rough and it's going to need some help. So you could literally go in, you could showcase your new plans and tell your clients everything you've got going on. And then you can literally log into their site and just say, now I'm offering hosting and maintenance. We'll keep your site completely updated, backed up, secure. And you could just tell them, honestly, knowing what I do now, I'm surprised that we haven't got hacked. I think we're really fortunate. And to make sure we avoid it, now we're offering our maintenance plan, our hosting and maintenance. And then you could go, you could even give them like a month free, and you could do all the updates, and you could give them a report and then show them, look at everything that's been covered with this. And then the biggie is the two additional bonuses, which are they get you for an hour a month, up to an hour a month for quick updates, and you're in their corner. And then you can also include that discounted hourly rate. So that way, you, in this case, Karen, I don't know what your hourly rate is, but you might say hourly rate $75 for non maintenance plan clients. If you join, we're going to discount that to like 50, something like that. So hopefully that helps. Raymond would like to know, is the new course part of the price bundle you offer? Yes. Yeah. So I do. If you guys don't know, I have all my web design courses wrapped up in a bundle. The bundle is revamped now with the pricing of this course. So Raymond, if you have any questions about that, let me know. If you would like to upgrade to the bundle, just email me, josh@joshhall.co. I will personally get back with you and make sure you get a discount code while the launch sale is on for the maintenance plan course. Joshua would like to know, do you do mentorship? So I do coaching in my web design club. If you guys are fairly new to my brand or my podcast, essentially the way I teach web designers and help everybody is I have my online courses, which are on demand and go at your own pace. So they're lifetime access as well. So for example, when you join the maintenance plan course, if I do a version 3.0, which will be quite a while from now because I just launched version 2.0, you don't need to repurchase it. That's one of the beauties about this revamp of this course is I was able to tell, I think I had 356 or so students in the first version of the course. I let all of them know, you don't need to rebuy it. You're already logged in, or you're already a lifetime customer. So just log in and enjoy the new lessons. So you'll get that. And then, yeah, for my web design club, if you guys are interested in and actually doing these type of calls in my web design club, I do weekly live coaching calls just like this, except I often bring members up and you can ask me coaching questions directly. And then I also have a private chat available for every member. So I'll put a link down here if interested, no pressure on this, but this is if you're really serious about your business. I mean, I have members who are just starting out and really advanced, but it is an investment because I want you to be committed. I don't want somebody to join my web design club and not show up. I want to be in touch with you. I want to oversee you and your business and give you some really good mentorship advice. And we can do that in the web design club. And with my courses, they're online, on demand, so you can go at your own pace. But we also have my student center. And right now I'm doing monthly calls in there. So once a month, I do a live Q&A, very similar to this. I'll take questions about anything that's going on, and I'll help you. I'll really make sure you're fully supported through every phase of your journey. So let me know if you have any more questions on that. I'd love to be able to chat ongoing with you. And in my web design club, we talk about everything in business: pricing, sales, marketing, ongoings, all kinds of stuff. So Karen would like to know discount code. So, Karen, you got it. Yep. So the launch sale for the course is on now through tomorrow at midnight, November 5th, 11:59 p.m. So if interested in the club, or excuse me, in the course, make sure to lock in your access now. There's no discount code needed. The launch sale is automatic. So it will end midnight tomorrow. I'm really serious about that because I personally, I know a lot of people sell products and courses on sale throughout the whole year. I'm not about that. Very small windows do I ever do sales, which is why I wanted to do this for you and see if you had any questions, because midnight tomorrow, that's the full price is going back up. So I always honor people who join during sale periods too. So yeah, no discount code needed. It's all set up for you. All right. Awesome. Abby Dale says the club is great, but don't join because I don't want it to get too popular. I'm guessing this is Abby. I see Abby Dale. Yeah, it's kind of funny because the web design club is coaching and community. Although I wouldn't worry about getting too popular. I think at the price point it's at, it lends itself to people who are serious. For a lot of people who are maybe just starting out and have zero budget, courses are generally the best way to go to get started until you can invest in yourself month to month. So, yep, Abby, I figured that was you. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, and by the way, you guys watching this right now, I didn't mean to take us on the club talk, but if you are interested in checking out my web design club, use code, let's see, what was I? I'm gonna drop in the chat right now. It's WC10 for my web design club. That will take 10% off your membership in the club if interested. And if there's any current members, I'm actually just about to make sure any current members paying full price get that discount. So if that happens to be you, let me know. I'll make sure you get that discount on your club fees moving forward. But you can use that if interested in checking out the club. We do this weekly, and I'm there really intently to support you every step of the way. And as much as any questions you need and you have from me personally, you'll have that. So, all right, guys. Well, I can't believe we're closing in on an hour. I want to open up the floor to any final questions about hosting and maintenance. I know a lot of you probably joined a little later on, which is totally fine. You'll be able to watch the replay. Hopefully this was valuable and gave you some insight on hosting and maintenance plans. Again, I'll put the link has been in the chat, so check that out. But my website maintenance plan course version 2.0 is available now. Launch sale is on. It's $100 off for the launch sale, but that does expire midnight tomorrow night, November 5th at Eastern time. So definitely lock in access now. I meant to say too, I am doing a 14-day money back guarantee. So there's no reason not to check it out. If for whatever reason you go through the course or you get far along and you feel like it's just not working out for you or it's not what you thought, I will completely honor a full refund. And I'm not going to try to convince you to stay. I really mean it. I want you to feel great about your investment. And I think personally, within the first couple lessons, you'll be like, yeah, this was so worth it. I've had some people say the course should be like 3 times the cost, but I know a lot of you are just starting out and you're early in the web design journey, or you're pushing to get your income to the next level. So I want to make it affordable for you to be able to realistically do it and to have a huge impact on your business. So Bartlett said, thank you so much. Learned a lot. Awesome. Barton wanted to know how much. I'm guessing this is how much for either the club or the web design or the maintenance plan course. The maintenance plan course is normally $397. It's $297 right now with the launch sale. So you get 100% off. That is, I'm no math expert, but I'm going to say that's over 25% off. So, and the Web Design Club is a $99 monthly fee or $999 annually. So it's actually something I'll mention in the web design or maintenance plan course is if you do anything monthly, always give a really good deal annually. So I applied that same topic or same concept to my Web Design Club as well. Awesome, guys. Well, I'll hang around just for a couple more minutes to see if anyone has any final questions. But let me just leave you with a bit of advice and encouragement, because again, I have one main regret in my web design journey, and that was not starting my maintenance plan sooner. What was funny, not funny, actually it was the opposite of funny. I had a mentor early on who told me you should do like a monthly plan for your clients where they pay you like $39 a month and you can update their sites. And me being the wisdom of my year and a half of business was like, who the heck's going to pay $40 a month for me to update their WordPress site? They could do that. Well, what I failed to realize was, yeah, they could do that maybe, but they shouldn't, not as a business owner. And a lot of the things that you can do month to month that you think are fairly easy, then you might be like, why would a client pay for this? They are busy running their own businesses. They should not be tinkering around with their website. And just because it's easy for you and you know what a plugin update is, don't think that your clients know what that is. They may hear plugin and be like, what is WordPress? I don't even know what that means. So definitely don't feel like this is a service that you've either missed out on or clients aren't going to be interested, because they will be interested. Another thing I want to note too is your price points. Don't be afraid to have a top tier of pricing. And this is where the 3-tier approach, the good, better, best, actually for you would be good, better, best. That approach will give you the option, if you have a low budget client, it's like a mom and pop pizza shop and they have like no budget, but they want their website secured and maintained. You can say, listen, we have our basic plan. At least with that, we'll be able to do our basic updates, security, etc. And then even if that doesn't include an hour of your time, guess what they get? That's right, the discounted hourly rate. So they can at least get the discounted hourly rate. So all those things will help with pricing. Don't be afraid to offer higher ticket type of pricing and tiers. And you can really have a mix to work with most all your clients. I mean, The trick is with any sort of hosting or maintenance, I wouldn't go under, like, I know some people do like 29 bucks a month. I think it's extremely low. I mean, I would, so, oh, how did I not talk about this yet? Everyone who stuck around, this is worth sticking around here. Um, if somebody does pass on your plan, offer a plan B, a fallback plan. This is where if you have an hour and all your plans and you have the $50 a month, 99 and 199, and somebody says, listen, I just don't see the value, I'm going to pass. Let them know, okay, but first of all, here's everything you're responsible for. And I will offer to give you basically a fallback plan to at least keep everything up to date. You can get the bare minimum, the basics. We'll do that for 39 a month. That's the only time I would go that low. So that's what made me think about that, because some people do 29, but I've got some students who are actually in the process of upping their rates because 29 a month, it just doesn't leave that much room for profitability. And I would only do that if you're just paying like the bare minimum of like managed WP, and it's a couple bucks a month for the site. And then you'll be able to have that as a fallback plan only if somebody denies your plan. And hint, pro tip, do not put your fallback plan on your pricing page. You've got your three main tiers, good, better, best. Your fallback plan is in your back pocket. It's in an email template. Actually, I have a bunch of email templates in the course that you can pull from. There's your fallback plan. So hopefully that helps. Awesome. Lori says, thanks for the info, getting on the maintenance plan deal. Awesome, Lori. Super excited to have you in the course and to help you with your plan. Again, if you joined us late, I know you may have missed quite a bit from the beginning. No worries. We'll have the replay up here on YouTube. And my maintenance plan course, the second version 2.0, the launch sale is on now. Just a final reminder, midnight tomorrow night, Friday, November 5th, Eastern time, sucker's going back to full price. So make sure you get you get the deal, that you lock in access right now. 14-day money back guarantee. There's no reason not to join and check it out. And if you guys have any questions, hit me up at joshhall.co/contact. I will have my email open pretty much all day tomorrow to answer any questions you have as it's the final day to launch. And I hope this helped. This has been a fun, casual Q&A session, but I really enjoyed your guys' questions. It was fun seeing some new faces. What did you guys think? But before we sign off, what did you think about this? Do you like these live public Q&As? Because if so, I might be doing some more of these. I do a weekly live Q&A in my web design club for my members. We do a monthly for all students right now, but I really enjoyed this too. So if interested, if you guys like this and pulled some value, then maybe we'll do this more frequently. I'm actually enjoying going live, and I'm still working on getting my better camera. I actually have a Canon DSLR, actually not DSLR, but it's a Canon camera, but it freaking times out after a half an hour. So I don't use them for streaming much, but I'm working on getting that going. So awesome. A lot of good feedback on the live session. So we'll definitely do more of these and public stuff. And just remember, any of my courses, you get lifetime access, and we'll do this more often. We do this at least once a month, but I'm thinking about doing it more. Karen says, yep, it's like you're talking right to us. Awesome. That is the goal. Yeah, that is the goal. I like this too, because like it's fun to see your questions, and it helps me dive into the right content. Like, I'll be honest, I don't care for most marketing or ads, and I'm sure you guys feel it too. You feel slimy and salesy, but you have to do some marketing. You have to let people know, hey, I've got a new service, or I've got a product or something. But the marketing is so tricky because you feel like a salesman. I hate feeling like that. So I'm loving doing these lives. By the way, quick tip unrelated to maintenance plans. You might consider going live for you and your clients or your local business, any businesses that you're a part of, business meetups. It is really powerful. Like Karen just said, it's like you're talking right to them, and actually is a really powerful thing. I've definitely seen the power of going live, which is why I wanted to do this for you today. So I'd recommend trying that out yourself too, if interested, or maybe host a webinar. And here's the biggie. If you're terrified of getting on camera and going live or something, just remember, you're already selling to clients. A lot of times you might be doing it in a group setting. Why not do it at scale? And it's actually a lot easier to be behind, just see a camera there and know when you guys are there, rather than actually being in a room with 30 people, or what we got, like 30 some people right now still on. So just a little quick tip. Totally didn't mean to go down that road, but awesome. Converge World says good stuff. Awesome. Thanks for joining, guys. Justin said, all good. Just looking to get started. So figuring where to start first. Awesome, Justin. If you have any questions, man, let me know. joshhall.co/contact. Let me know what questions you have. And if you're interested in the course, you'll have, what do we got? I'm not going to do the math. You got a day and a half to join with the launch sale, but the course isn't closing. I meant to say that too. My courses do not close after a launch sale. It'll always be open. And I occasionally do have promos where you might get a little discount, but this will be the biggest discount for right now. I hate closed courses just because I actually just tried to refer somebody to a course yesterday and their course was closed. So I'm like, well, I can't help this person because my colleague's course is closed. So I like having courses open all the time. Raymond said, I just started listening to your podcast. Would love to do this once a month. Your advice is fantastic for us newbies. Awesome, Raymond. Well, first of all, thanks for listening to the podcast. I don't know if you guys saw whoever's follows me on Instagram or anything, but my podcast is 2 today. I launched it on November 4th, 2019. So doing a little celebrating for that tonight. It's going to be cool. I'm excited about it being 2 years old. Have loved doing the podcast. Got some awesome episodes coming up too. So I appreciate that, Raymond. Raymond, I forget. Are you a current student? I forget if you're a current student or not. Forgive me. Forgive you're a current student, but if you are and you haven't seen our monthly Q&As in the club or in the student center, let me know because we do have those. And then I'll definitely do some more public Q&As, probably on YouTube, maybe a little Facebook, maybe even go live on Instagram. I don't know. We'll try it out. And Joshua said, yeah, it doesn't feel like a sales session or meeting. Awesome. That's the goal with anything live. Abby says, congratulations. Thanks, Abby. Really, really appreciate that. Real Pro would like to know, how do you talk so fluent on camera? What methods do you use for that? Hey, I am happy to answer a final question here outside of the realm of maintenance plan because I'm super passionate about getting on camera. Honestly, the trick is to do it as much as you can. Repetition is the name of the game. Even just 4 or 5 years ago, I was terrible behind a camera. And I know this because I did a video for my networking group and we did like a little sale, like a promo video for it. Speaking of promos, and in the group, I was really lively, really myself, kind of like this. And then as soon as they turned the camera light on me, I was like deer in the headlights. And then even it's funny, Doug, the video guy who was a colleague of mine at the time, he was like, are you all right, man? Like, what happened? And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just really nervous. I forgot what to say. Like, it really just is a matter of repetition. A lot of people feel like they may be born to do this. I don't think that's the case. I think some people are a little more comfortable and natural at first, but I still get anxious. I was a little anxious before coming on this, but what I've learned to do is to channel that nervousness into a good energy. And honestly, with this kind of call, it was really easy because you guys asked me a question and I answer with what I think. It's a little different with like a training, although sometimes that's easier because you got like a presentation or slide there. But the trick is just to be yourself and just do it as much as you can. You will get more comfortable. I'm going to give you a pro tip that a legit pro, a broadcaster, gave me. And actually, let me send you the link to this episode. Not 101, what was that? So earlier this year, I got a chance to interview the voice of the Columbus Blue Jackets, the NHL team, which you guys are seeing my hockey shirt right here. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and I am a hockey guy. I interviewed him for the podcast, and it was awesome. If you guys are interested in getting better on camera, the link that I just posted below, episode 104 of the podcast, that will be worth every minute of your time. He really dished out some amazing advice in there with how to get better at camera. And he's somebody who knows it well because he is a professional NHL broadcaster. He's actually the radio guy. A lot of great tips in there. So yeah, that's essentially how I got better. Just repetition, doing it all the time. If you're really terrified about getting on camera, what I would start off with is a screen share. Like when I started doing tutorials, I just recorded my screen and I wasn't actually looking at the camera because it is different. It's different looking at the camera than being on the screen and not, you don't have to do your hair. You don't have to put your makeup on. If you're a gal who is like, I got to do a video, I got to put makeup on. Look, sometimes I do my podcast and if it's just me doing a solo episode, this hair isn't up. This hair is down and it's flat. So, yeah, there's different ways and tactics you can use to get better on camera, but repetition, name of the game. Raymond said, not at the moment, but will be as soon as I can as far as joining a course. Awesome, Raymond. Looking forward to having you as a student and doing this more regularly. So awesome, guys. Hey, thanks for joining. Hopefully this helped. Last reminder, my maintenance plan course version 2.0 launch sale is on right now. I'll put the final link in the chat right now. If you have any questions, let me know. joshhall.co/contact. Hit me up there. I will get back with you tomorrow. I'm actually just about to take my family out after this for a little celebration dinner for the podcast and take all my I have two golden retrievers and two little daughters, 1 and 3. So I'm going to take them for a walk after this, and then we're going to do a little celebration and go to dinner. So I'm out, but thank you for joining. Hope you had fun. I'll see you guys soon on another one of these. And here is to building, launching, selling, retaining, all the things you're going to do with your maintenance plans. I'm super excited about it, guys. So looking forward to hearing back. Thanks for joining. Talk soon.